first episode, but you used to have like a real life.
Yeah.
Like, can you talk about this on the air a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so, and a lot of people don't know this about you, right? Because they just hear you on Real Ass Podcast. They hear you on, they hear you on all these shows, and you've essentially become a living cartoon character.
Essentially.
Right? Like, you're falling through tables, like, you're fighting Lewis for your job. Like, now you got to fight an old man at fucking Ellis Mania, which is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, look, there's lots of stuff going on with you being a ridiculous person. So people don't realize so in your 20s, you had a good job working. You were managing a family contracting company, correct? Yep. Okay. Hot Spanish fiance.
Half Brazilian, half Argentinian. Yeah.
Those are two kinds of Spanish, Mike.
Yeah. Hispanic. Spain is one country.
Whatever. Two kinds of Spanish, right? You had a Mercedes.
Yeah.
I mean, look.
An E-Class.
It was really creepy that you still had the keys on your key ring when you were homeless.
Yeah, I still have them.
Odd. Because I know that was a lease. That's why it's even weird.
Wasn't a lease. I owned it.
You bought?
Yeah.
That's how much money you were making?
Yeah.
You were not leveraged to the hilt?
No.
Now, how unhappy were you?
At times I was happy. At times I was pretty fucking miserable.
But obviously the misery must have outweighed the happy. You're happier now.
Oh, significantly.
This is something I've been thinking about, and I think about a lot. But some some Facebook memories came up or whatever, and I just thinking about when I was a cook, which I wouldn't take back running my own place. I wouldn't take it back, just like I'm sure you wouldn't take back that part of your life. It's part of who you are, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's how you got here. But this is actually what brought it up. You recommended the What Up podcast with Rob and Cody.
Love those guys.
Very funny. I had a blast doing the show. I think it comes out about the same day as this. I'll post it in social media and stuff. Those guys are very funny. But they brought up to me, they said to me, how it's got to be great to live in a place where the thing that you love is already there. To which I said to them, I go, you know what's fucking funny is I never tried to do stand-up or any of that shit until a few years ago, even though I want to do stand-up as a kid.
Yeah.
As a little kid.
Yeah.
My uncle showed me George Carlin tapes. I was upset. I was for a little kid in the 90s, I was weirdly upset. My grandmother bought me comedy albums. My mom would show me Kinnison. The first thing I saw was my dad who's old, who we've discussed about, watching Alan King. And I was like, what is this? And he was like, he's a comedian. I was like, what the fuck is a comedian? I was probably 5. I probably didn't say fuck. I was like, what is that? He was like, you just tell jokes. And I was like, I didn't get any of these old Jew jokes. But I was there. You catch the beats, and then there's laughing, and you go, wait, there's a job? And I just always wanted to do that. And then, at some point, when I started to form a brain, every adult man around me told me, even when I opened a kitchen, people were like, you shouldn't do that. Apply to civil service tests, do your 20, and you're done. Mm-hmm. Now, I know guys who did their 20, and then I saw them, the guys who, when they were hitting 38, I'd be like, you're going to retire? And they'd be like, what the fuck am I going to do if I retire? Guys who've been in the sanitation department since they're 18. And they literally are still just working, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But to me, that always sounded like a prison sentence that I didn't kill someone to earn. I don't know how you feel about that.
So now that I'm at 32, I'm wishing I did that.
Fair. Because I have days that I wish I did that too.
Yeah.
But but at 18, I would not have been able to do that. There's no way, there's not one of those jobs that at, let's say 21, I could have held down. So I would have just been kicked out anyway. None of them.
No, I definitely could have.
Maybe garbage man. Maybe.
No, waking up that early would kill me.
I always thought, actually, the only one I ever thought I could do, but the waiting list is so hard to get into if there's no nepotism involved, is firefighter.
Oh, I mean, come on. That's the dream job.
Of course it is. Dude, I know a kid who's making an insane amount of money as an iron worker who's trying to get into the fire department this year.
Yeah.
Because even though he'll take a 70% pay cut, it is such a sweet gig.
Yeah.
Like, look, I know we all, this is something we should talk about too. I know we all think firefighters are heroes.
Yeah, respect the firefighters.
And they are.
And the troops.
I respect the firefighters. And I'm going to talk about the troops later because I got to talk about this fucking documentary I watched about Trump. But, I respect firefighters 100%. What they do is incredibly dangerous. They are fucking running into buildings. I get it. But what a lot of people don't know, especially about the FDNY, is that if once you're in there for a few years, you could work your schedule where you're literally working 2 24-hour shifts a week. You sleep at the firehouse, you cook food, you maybe fight a fire. Maybe. And then the rest of the week, you're free to golf or moonlight. It is, and bitches just want to fuck you. Like, just, that's it. Like, it's just like, bitches will lie and be like, firefighters aren't hot, and then you could get that girl drunk and put her in a firefighter bar and she's sucking a racist off. No problem.
10 times out of 10.
Yes. You a pink hair, half the head shave, as long as she sometimes sucks dick. Get her drunk and put her in a bar with only firefighters. She will blow the most racist one. Like, every fucking time. And again, not all firefighters are racist, but they are all Irish. So that means at least 40% of them are racist. That's not true. The only guys I grew up with that are firefighters right now are black, which is a fact. But
the Black Irish.
Yeah, they're Black Irish. They all came off that one Spanish Armada ship, and then the Moors fucked their moms. I don't know. But it's just, I don't even remember where I was getting at with this, with the fucking firefighter thing.
Civil service job.
Civil service job. Yeah. So what I'm saying though is, I think I opened my restaurant because I was getting to the point, which I shouldn't have done. I always had said before that I never wanted to open a restaurant. My father was in the restaurant industry. And I was just at a point where people were looking at me and they were saying, you got to do something. That's probably why you got engaged, right? Partially.
No, I got engaged because it was what I wanted to do.
Okay. Why'd you break off the engagement?
We had different goals.
Okay. She wanted what?
She wanted to
cuckold you and you didn't want to be cuckolded. Essentially.
No. She just wanted to. She was dead set on quitting her job that was paying her like $60,000 a year, right? To go to school full time, incur hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt to become a dietitian where she would make an extra like $20,000 a year, right?
Oh, so you made the absolute right choice here.
Yeah, 100%.
Financially. Even though, I mean, you made some poor financial choices. But
it was a situation where it was like, all right, like, am I willing to take on now, right? Like being the sole breadwinner and like $500,000 in debt essentially over the course of like the next 4 years so that she could make a $20,000 a year pay increase. And it just didn't make sense to me. Didn't make sense to me given the fact like I was living.
But hold on. What was her job before that you said?
She was running a corporate gym. She was running a gym in a corporate facility.
Okay. Why did she want to leave that? She just wasn't happy.
Yeah. She was just like, she just didn't want to be working in a gym anymore.
You guys were upstate people finding your truth.
Pretty much.
Okay. So what I'm kind of trying to focus on here. So what made you give up the job and come down here and do this for way less money?
Well, it became a thing where it was like, all right, you got to either like shit or get off the pot with this business, right? Like I was either going to buy it outright, take on like, a massive amount of debt myself and like have that nut over my head. And at this point, it probably would have been paid off and I'd be making like sick money, like insane money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you think you'd be less happy?
Yeah, 100%. I'd be working.
Okay, so
I'd be working the same hours that I am right now for something that I just didn't give a fuck about.
But so at some part of you wanted to do the job, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted the money. I wanted security.
Okay, so this is kind of what I'm talking about. I'm sure there was some sort of family business. There was pressure on you to take the job.
Of course.
Okay. Now, so there's guys I know. My buddy Elon was going to college for accounting. He wanted to be an accountant and we asked him why. He was like, accountants make good money. He worked in a plumbing store while he was going. Now he owns that plumbing store and is significantly happier than if he had graduated college and become an accountant. He bought the plumbing store from the owner when the owner retired and is significantly happier. All I'm saying is like there's this weird thing that happens when you're in your early 20s to men and to women too when it comes to like marriage and stuff. And I'm sure you can cite examples of it in your life. For me, I opened a restaurant because people kept looking at me and being like, what the fuck are you going to do? You got all those cool stories when you were a fucking asshole. You're fucking up. No, I wasn't fucking up. I was fiduciarily doing just fine. You know what I mean? And, I was working in bars. I was bouncing. I was okay, but I was hitting my mid-20s and people start going, what are you going to do? Well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Now, to me, still even in my mid-20s, I was kind of like, do your 20 and you're out. I knew for me, I didn't think I could do it. I still don't think I could do it.
Yeah, by 25, 26, I was like, yeah, there's no way.
At 18, I knew I couldn't do it.
At 18, I feel like I could have been indoctrinated.
Yeah, that's the military. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe you could have, yeah. If you would have gotten in there where you were still looking for a personality,
yeah,
and you would have given up a lot of hanging out with your buddies,
yeah.
Maybe that's true.
I'm saying if I was 18 and became a cop and I was only hanging out with fucking cops, I would be a shithead cop right now.
That's fair. I'll give you that point. That is a fair point. But definitely by my mid-20s, I knew that was out for me. And I had always wanted to do this stuff, but I don't know where I fell on. I guess the opportunity just came up for me to open the kitchen because I was a good cook. I grew up in the restaurant business. I knew how to do it. I had somebody that would go into business with me to do it. And we did it, but I was miserable. And like I just hear story after story of people getting married when they're young because they think they're supposed to. How you grew up in Westchester?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was a big part of it. Like, when I was 23, 24, I was just like, I was banging a ton, and I got to a point where I was like, all right, like, I'm kind of over this, like, like the old Italian women used to call it.
Why does that mean you're supposed to get married and settle down and have children?
I don't know. I just, like, it got to a certain point where, like I was saying, the old Italian women used to call it climbing the tree. Like, that's what they would, whatever. And, like, I felt like I had done enough of that, and I was pretty certain the next girl who I was going to date,
there just wasn't enough
I would marry.
Available hooers in your town.
That's not true. There was plenty. And
how
I found them.
Been tired of it.
Because it just got to a certain point where it's like, all right, like, once you like, you fuck 5 different girls in a 6-day period. It's like, all right, how long am I going to keep doing this?
And again, are you happier now?
Right now?
Than if you would have gotten married. Not right now because I'm putting you on the hot seat. You don't like this. But in general, you're happier with your position in life now, despite living in a small 1-bedroom apartment and attempting to fuck threes that are left in this dead city.
No. I'm living in 1 bedroom in a 4-bedroom apartment.
4-bedroom apartment. Yes, It is the smallest bedroom.
Yeah, tiny.
Mattress on the floor.
No.
I described your bedroom to Frank, who is your roommate, as my alcoholic uncle's bedroom that was actually a closet when I was a kid. My uncle Joe, who was a horrid alcoholic, and I was just like, I just looked in there. The door just swung open for a second, and I was like, "That's Joe's room." Literally a man that my buddy drove home in a cab because he was a cab driver, and was like, "So your uncle smells like death. He's gonna die soon." And then that guy lived for 10 more years.
Jesus.
Yeah. He was like, yeah, it just smelled like death in the cab. But anyway, I just want to give this advice to people who are having that feeling like they don't know what to do. Don't know what to do. Just do that. Like, I think there's a huge problem in this country where we don't have a gap year the way Europe does between high school and college. Because I'll tell you this, I always joke around like I didn't go to college because I didn't really, but I did enroll in community college but I wasn't prepared to. But my father was literally like, you can't live here unless you're in school. And I was too stupid to realize that I was paying all the bills. And he would have been fucked if I left. Once I realized that, I dropped right out of school. And I literally told him, I was like, I don't know what I'm going there for. I am not ready for this. I literally knew I needed to be bored for a year so that I could read a book about something and be enamored with it. And that's what I needed. Just like I didn't need the pressure of what are you going to do? And therefore here's an opportunity, I'll just open a restaurant, and then I was instantly miserable. What I needed to do was take a deep breath and tell every friend of mine to go fuck themselves. Because these are all people who, like I said, I was still living a pretty fun life. I still am living a pretty fun life. I love doing this. This is fucking amazing to me. Yeah. Every time we get to come in here and use this facility to do this great thing, and I get to
play radio with my friends.
I get to play. You looked at me at fucking Catalyst Wrestling once, where I work, where Zach Amico works, on acid, and said, "How did we get the fantasy camp job where we all just get to be fucking? This is summer camp. How did we get these jobs?"
It's true.
And it's because we continuously said "fuck you" to fucking everybody.
Pretty much.
Like, and what I'm saying is, like, I know so many people who like got married, got the kid, then they were just like, well, if I just have the kid, then it was just like, well, I still am miserable. And look, for some people, that is fucking fine. If that is you, I'm not shitting on you. I love people like that. I love having a beer with those guys. I don't think you're a sucker. I don't. But if you're not one of those guys and you're fucking doing that, fucking stop, take a fucking breath, and tell everyone you know to suck your fucking dick. And this goes for fucking women too, because women feel this fucking pressure to be fucking married and have children that is excessive, more so than with men. Way significantly. I know a girl who is just getting married this year. She's in her 30s. But from the time she was fucking 22, she's been going, I just assumed I'd be married by now. I just assumed I'd be married by now. When I was a kid, I always assumed I would have this fairy tale wedding by this point in my life. I was like, when you were a kid, you used to shit your fucking pants. Like, you thought that was a better option than getting up and getting eaten by the monster under your bed. Like, how is that you also thought princess was a job? Like, think about, like, when I was a kid, like, what? I have a buddy who, he also was at you got significantly worse off than me, and he might be listening to this, and I apologize. But, like, at a point, he's doing fine now, but, like, at a point, he was, like, significantly more at all right, dude, you gotta do something. Like, he was like, and was like, it was excessive. And I just was like, I literally was just like, dude, what do you want to do? I was like, I'm not going to tell you to go fucking get a city job. I'm not going to be that guy. But what do you want to do? Maybe I can help you. What do you want to fucking do? And he goes to me, I don't know, man. I always wanted to, like, be an actor. He said this to me. Now, he was lying. Like, he maybe thought it would be cool to be famous, but he didn't actually want to be an actor, because the next day I went and I talked to people I know who are actors, working actors, and I got him a bunch of information on, like, training and this and that. He didn't even open the email. You know what I mean? And I said it to one of our mutual buddies, and he goes, yeah, he's fucking full of shit. He just wanted you to shut up. He just doesn't want to do nothing, that kid. He's like, I wanted to be a fire truck when I was a kid. I see me being a fucking fire truck. So look, there are those instances. If you're one of those guys, do something, whatever it is. Fucking wait tables. I don't fucking care. But what I'm saying is, and it particularly happens to men and women in their mid-20s and women in their, like, I'd say 23, 24. For men, it's 25 to 28. Where you start getting close to that 30, and you start thinking, and you make a bad choice. Mm-hmm. And that happens to a lot of men, where they make a bad choice.
Oh, yeah.
What I'm saying is, sell dope. No. Well, I mean, if that's your truth, live your truth. But if that's your truth, live your truth. But what I'm saying is, if you think you want to be doing something else and it means you're not going to make any money for a while, Mike didn't make any money for a while, and you're saying you're 100% significantly happier than you were then.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's not even close.
Despite the fact that sometimes you think about the money.
Yeah, of course. Who doesn't?
I mean, I think about it every day.
Yeah. I mean, it's like
you're gonna have those regrets on either side of it.
Yeah.
This is just something
Dude, turning 30 was probably the most freeing thing that ever happened to me. You know what I mean? Like, it was one of those things where, like, I hit it, like, that day I was like, oh shit, like, nothing changed. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely nothing changed.
Nothing.
And it was such a big thing in my head for so long.
There's not even, you don't get an extra privilege.
Nothing. Well, no, you do get an extra privilege. You get fuck it. I think
You do get, yeah, no, but you have to, no, you don't get fuck it.
Literally the day I turned 30, I got fuck it.
You did, because you earned it. A lot of people turn 30, if you've already got the kid, right? If you make the bad decision at 28, so when I turned 30, I made the bad decision at 28, I opened a restaurant. I didn't have fuck it until I was 32. I had a lease. I couldn't, and honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that I was having so much friction with my business partner, I'd still be doing that and figuring out, but I'd also be figuring out how to do this. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, but it would have taken me longer. But it's like, I never should have done that even if that was wildly successful, I'd still be sitting there like, fuck. I gotta go fucking make a fucking steak sandwich for some asshole who doesn't think my steak sandwich is as good as some fucking other asshole steak sandwich 300 fucking miles away. Yeah, I get it. The bread's good in Philly. Shut the fuck up. I'm wearing a cheesesteak hat as I yell this.
This is all I've ever wanted to do.
What?
Exactly what I'm doing right now.
Listening to me yell. Hey guys, if you enjoyed that clip, make sure you subscribe to the show on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get podcasts. And make sure you follow me at Chris from BKLYN on Twitter. Also, of course, make sure you support our sponsor. That sponsor is Vinylgraph. With Vinylgraph, you can make custom graffiti pieces that are on vinyl stickers that adhere to your wall. They're reusable. You can take them down, use them again. Vinylgraph.com. That's VINYLGRAFF.com. Use the promo code Chris1 at checkout, and they're going to give you a sweet 10% discount. That's Vinylgraph.com. Use the promo code Chris1 for a discount.